welcome back to the channel. It has been a minute, I know. Hopefully this is me going back to daily uploads, as I've recently gotten a new uh, semi-job in writing for an online publication, doing movie reviews, podcasting, which I will link into the description and go into more at the end of this video. But today I wanted to get back into reviewing stuff on the channel, reviewing movies, giving my thoughts about some TV. I've been watching some great TV in the first quarter of this year, because the first quarter of this year for movies has been very dry, to say the least, except for a couple bright spots. But I'm going to be talking about one of those bright spots today, and that is Alex Garland's and Ray Mendoza's new film, Warfare, which opens everywhere today, Friday, April 11th. So before I get into the full review of Warfare, I just want to give a little lens as to why war films are sort of a different angle for me, and I have a different view and appreciation for them. So before I was born, my father was a Marine for about 12 to 13 years. He was served during the late 80s, early 90s, and was in the Marines during the Gulf Wars. So I've always grown up in a household that appreciates what he did for our country. He shared little things, bits and pieces, obviously not everything. I'm not going to get into all that, but just because of knowledge of my family and what he's done for our country, I have a different little view on war films than the average American. I talked about this in my Letterboxd review, and I wanted to preface that before I got into this review as well. So with that knowledge, with that so-called expertise, if you will, I thought Warfare was a harrowing, true to life experience. This is a 90 minutes straight of bullets clinging, grenades exploding, people getting shot, people getting hit by IEDs, all the gore, the screams of pain. It's just a very visceral and real portrayal, from what I've been told and what I've heard from other people, about being in combat, in war, your first time being in combat. And Ray Mendoza, who is a co-director on this film, it is a true story, all told from the memories of his troops, of his troop, during a 2006 mission in Iraq, which I find very different for today's set of war films, because it's coming from a very personal place for him. This is a very, I bet, hard and difficult thing to talk about, but this is the way he chose to express it, which I found very interesting and very positive in that sense. I think what he's doing here works incredibly well. The action, if you want to call it action, it's just 90 minutes straight of anxiety-inducing, tension-building combat. That's all this is. This is an experience. If you're coming here necessarily for as to why war is bad, or nuanced characters, or a wholehearted story, that's not the point of this. That's not what that's not what they were trying to achieve. They are trying to achieve the what war is, not the why. And if that upsets you and you're angry as to why they don't get in the why, I've read countless times, and they've said in many interviews, there are plenty of movies that say why war is bad or why wars happen, and they wanted to make a movie about what war is and what soldiers like Ray go through on a daily basis when we are in war with other country or in combat, which I found, again, very harrowing and very genuine in this portrayal. It's constant, beautifully done sound design. This is just like Alex Garland's Civil War last year. This is gorgeous sound design, complemented with insanely tension building editing. This is edited and designed to a perfect T. This is on a technical level from behind the camera. This is the best thing on that level I've seen so far this year. This is a truly haunting cinematic experience. I walked out of this theater rattled and very shaken. It's unlike any war film I've ever seen before, and I think it's the most realistic depiction of combat and war that I've seen in movies since I've ever started watching them. I've seen the Saving Private Ryan's, The Thin Red Lines, the Civil Wars, Zero Dark 30, American Sniper, they all have their different merits and their different merits and quality of how they show combat, the quality of the overall story. But here, this is the realest depiction and most visceral depiction of war that I've ever seen, and I want to give Mendoza and Garland credit for that, as that's what they set out to achieve, and I think they achieved that extremely well. Now, if this is not your thing, I've seen people come across this as it's a muddled message about anti-war, and I don't think, like I've said earlier, that is the necessary point. This is a exercise in showing what America and the worldwide audience, for people that see this outside the US, of just what soldiers go through and what combat is and how they respond to being, put in these situations where they didn't know their combat was going to happen. If you're looking for a why, my personal opinion, it does give some commentary. That all you know about this story is that they're in Ramadi, Iraq in 2006. You have no idea what their mission is. You have no idea who they're fighting. You have no idea why they are in this Iraqi family's house. There's really no story or factual beats given as to what they are doing and why they are there. And to me, that is a smart commentary on a metaphor for the Iraq War. Most of America disagrees with it. I'm obviously one of the few. There's a lot of reasons that we shouldn't have been there, and that's come to light. And I think the not knowing who we're fighting, not knowing what the mission is, and not knowing why they're in a certain house or certain place during this war is a commentary onto itself of saying basically why was America even there, because we didn't even know who we were fighting. We didn't know what we were doing necessarily, which I thought was very smart. And I feel like, I'm not saying not a lot of people are picking up on that, but that's how I read the film. It's supposed to be very small back, central scale. This all takes place in one house, one location through the entirety of the movie. And when they get out of this house and get out of this combat zone, the movie just ends. There's no in between. Like I said, there's no character development. There's no inherent story. It's just you watching them go through 90 straight minutes of combat and how they respond to that combat. And I want to give a lot of props to the cast of this picture. Joseph Quinn, Charles Melton, Will Poulter, Kit Connor, Finn Bennett, Cosmo Jarvis. You can go down the list. It's a lot of the, internet boyfriends of the world lately are in this and give, for what they're trying to do, it's an ensemble piece. There's no real main character. You could argue that Ray, because since this is Ray's personal story told from memory, there is someone playing Ray himself, which is sort of the overall centerpiece of which this story is told through. There are moments where it switches perspectives and goes to Will Poulter's characters for minutes, goes to Joseph Quinn's characters for minutes. His arc in this is actually truly horrifying. It had tears in my eyes for most of it. I don't want to spoil the action with it, but he has a very hard burden to go through in this movie, and it made me feel a lot of different emotions. Like I said, to end this overall, this is a insanely haunting cinematic experience. This is not for the faint of heart. This is 90 minutes straight of just some of the worst things humanity does in the context of war, and I think that exercise was done perfectly for what they were trying to achieve. And with that fact, again, I think the story elements and not having an overall tone and character development does push this back a little, but I do think it's an incredible exercise and demonstration of what war can do and how it affects the people that are in it in real time. And that's why I gave Warfare a 3.5 out of 5. I think it's definitely worth your time. Go into it knowing that this changes on a flip. You will be shaking, you will have anxiety, there's constant tension, and I just want to point that out because not everyone, can deal with that sort of stuff. So yeah, that is my review for Warfare. Thank you all for watching so much. I will be linking all of my new reviews and podcasts with the Rolling Tape. That's who I've joined and that's who I'm part of, in the description below. You can also follow me on Twitter, Letterboxd, Instagram. All those links will be in the description as well. Once again, I appreciate anyone and everyone who watches this, and I hope you all have a good afternoon, morning, evening, or night. and take care.